Hello and welcome. It's a good day to be on the farm. My name is Chuck, and this is Riverview Cows, episode 19. And in the last episode, we finished up manuring the fields and preparing them for harvest or for planting. We're just waiting for that opportunity to plant them, and in the meantime, we're doing some grass work. I do have a worker going in this one, so let me flip back to this one. I also am working on this field here, getting some grass bales out with their baler. I'm pretty sure these are grass. Let me check. Yeah, that's grass. So we can start making some more silage and wrapping it there because, again, we have lots of cows and calves in this farm, and that's pretty much what we're doing is we're ranching and we're trying to feed everybody. And so it's been a lot of grass fields, but we're also trying to get some more straw. So we've got some, hopefully, let me check the map actually, or the calendar. Yes, we can start planting next month wheat, barley, and oats if we wanted to start getting straw going. We could plant canola this month, but we decided not to because we really want to have that straw available for the cows. And let me just flip down here and show you the cows again. We've got these 24-month-old brown Swiss, and I believe these 10-month-old brown Swiss as well. We've got 23-month-old Holsteins, and then again 10-month-old Holsteins here. And then in our second barn, we also have 240 brown Swiss calves who are only a month old. So we're trying to get straw for all of them. As you can see, we're down to 52,000 liters here and 46,000 liters here. That should get us pretty close. But they do eat a lot of straw. So, or not eat a lot of straw, but they use it for their manure, for cleaning up. They eat total mixed ration, which we have 65,000 liters of here. We also have some hay as a backup just in case. And then we've got just straight up hay down here for the brown Swiss calves as well, since they're not producing anything. It doesn't matter to me if they're 80% or 100% effective. So I'm going to go ahead and start this baler again, and we'll just keep this going. Let's see, I'll lower that and get that going. And I wanted to talk real quick at the top of the episode, just because it has been a few months since I put out a video, and I'm sure a couple of you were wondering where I've been. So I just wanted to address those things, and I'm going to start making videos again, because I do enjoy Farm Sim, and I'm going to be I come back to it anytime that I walk away, but obviously I got distracted from a few other things. It was summer, kids were off of school, we just had a lot of activities and summer camps, and then tried to take a trip here or there, had a family reunion we went to, things like that. But in addition, I got a little bit distracted, as it happens for me. I'm sure you may have seen I put like 1 or 2 Diablo 4 videos out on the channel. Diablo 4 pretty much ate 60 days of my gaming time this summer. So when I was able to fire up the PlayStation and spend some time gaming, I chose to play Diablo 4. I have played the very first Diablo back on a PC when I was in high school 20-some years ago. 30 years ago? Yikes. Something like that, in the 90s. And then I actually never played Diablo 2. I did buy the remastered version when it came out on the PS5, but I put like 2 hours in, and that was pretty much it. But then I played a lot of Diablo 3 about a decade ago when it came out. Played lots of characters, got some hardcore characters up, and was playing that for a while. So I am a fan of the franchise. I do know quite a bit about it, or at least I've spent a lot of time playing it. I guess I wouldn't consider myself an expert or anything. But so my friends got Diablo 4, and we decided to put together a guild and start playing through that. So that did occupy a lot of my game time over the summer. And then I also got into camping, which I've, been camping ever since I was a Boy Scout, but on and off, like maybe luckily once a year, if that, skipping a year here and there, because I have kids and the kids don't really care for camping when it's hot outside and the bathrooms in campgrounds and things like that. So I got first into Diablo 4, and then I got really big into hammock camping, which a lot of you may have never heard of, because I tend to get into niche things that there's only a small percentage of the population that's interested in, much like farm sim. So, but it's, instead of taking a tent, you just take a hammock, hang it between two trees, and so you're sort of sleeping out in the open. And there's a couple different things you can do. The very first time I just went with the hammock, no bug net, not really even a tarp over me, although I had like a shelter in case it rained, but so you could see the stars and do that. But it is very interesting because you hear everything, because you feel like you're out in the open. Not that a tent offers that much protection, but you're contained within four walls, so you feel like you're secluded and protected and you have a safe place. In a hammock, you don't really get that, but you do feel a lot more in close contact with nature. So anyway, I got a hammock like 2 years ago and went camping in it once, and then just kind of got distracted and forgot about it and whatever. And then this summer, my brother-in-law, I had told him about my hammock, and he had went up to the Boundary Waters in Minnesota on a fishing trip and hammock camped the entire time. And so we were talking about it, and he invited me out to his farm, and we hammock camped there. Survived through a rainstorm, pretty heavy one, and stayed dry. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then I started watching YouTube videos about it and got really involved in that. And I've watched maybe 100 videos from backpackers and hammock campers, and all about the different setups and the different things you can get, and bought a bunch of hammocks, returned a couple of hammocks, and now I have 3 different hammock setups with bug nets and tarps and rainflies and backpacking gear and camp stove and all that kind of stuff. So I've been out this summer 3 times doing hammock camping as well. So that also took up quite a bit of time. And then, normal work. And I'm a father of 3 kids, and I volunteer at church, and I do all those kind of things. So I just, I guess I just needed a break from farm sim for a while, which is fine. It's this is a hobby, and although I do have well over 100 farm sim videos out there and many hours of me doing this, I'm not monetized or anything, so I'm not making any money off of this. This is just a hobby that I do when I have time to do it. I'd love to see it turn into something, years down the road, but at this point, it's not there yet. So, anyway, so that's where I've been. I just wanted to kind of share that with you guys in case you were wondering. Also, I did sign up for the year 2 season pass from Giant Software for the expansions for Farm Sim. And obviously you saw me use the Go Wheel expansion for those balers that let you do TMR and sugar beet cut and some other interesting bales. So I did that earlier this year, I think in April-May timeframe. Well, in my absence, there's been 2 other expansions for Farm Sim that have come out. One of them just came out last week, which is another sort of reason I'm back. I just wanted to kind of see what the new stuff was. So you can expect that I will be either reviewing that equipment on one of the farms that I'm currently running, or I'm actually thinking about just starting a new farm. Oh, I thought this was Row, but it doesn't appear to be. Let me loop back around. And sorry if I sound a little nasally, I'm fighting a cold, which hopefully you can't hear, but you probably can. So I apologize for those sounds in the microphone. Yeah, I think I got pretty much all of this done. I will get these 2 spots up here and then loop back down for that one spot on the right. And then we will shut off this baler and call this good. So I was saying there's 2 more expansions, so there's a lot more new equipment to use. So I'm either going to be testing that on some of the farms that I currently have in production, like this Riverview one, or I might just start a new series to just use that new equipment and just kind of see how that goes from there. So we will see how that all shakes out here in a bit. All right, so let's see if we get that last bit here. And we'll lift the pickup, turn off the baler, and eject those 2 bales. And then we will loop back up here. And let's zoom out a little bit, fold up this baler while we go park it up. So in episode 24, well, in 23, I was talking about manure and selling manure, and I used about half of the manure that the cows had produced to fertilize field 19, which is that big field kind of the southeast. But I had mentioned that it's actually more cost effective to sell the manure than it is to actually just use it for fertilizer. You can actually buy fertilizer for cheaper, and it's a much quicker process in the game to spread solid fertilizer than it is to spread that manure, as you saw me do with the bucket. You know, it takes a lot of loads, and you have to scoop it with the telehandler or with a front loader to kind of get there. So let me just drop that here, and we'll run this over here and park it up. I'm not sure exactly what we're doing next, so I'm just going to park this here for now. And then we're going to skip back to this, which is also done tedding. Oh, I suppose I could have left that baler out for this, but we'll get this put up. We do want to give it a little time to dry, to be realistic. You don't want to just, or farmers don't just, ted the grass and then immediately go bale it. They ted the grass and then basically let it dry for a couple of days, and then use the tedder to flip it over, let it dry for a couple more days to make sure that it's completely dry, so they've got hay, and then that's when they'll go bale it. And so you need a front loader, or excuse me, a windrower, and then a baler to pick that up. So we'll come back and do all that here. But here's that field 19 to the right. That's all covered in manure, and this field 13 as well. But I had mentioned that it was more cost effective to sell that product rather than just scoop it all and dump it that way. So I want to test that. Also, I had a comment in episode 24 of someone asking me how to do that, and I haven't been able to address that yet. So I did go some testing, did do some testing offline. Where you are not, are you my front loader? I know that you are a front loader, but are you the only front loader that I have? I feel like maybe that's true. All right, let me drop this here. Yeah, I think this is probably the only one we have. So I did some testing, and normally you would have to take it to the biogas plant, and then you would dump it into the containers there, and it would turn into digestate. So there's a couple of steps involved in that. You have to buy the biogas plant first, and then you have to scoop all this manure into something that can dump. And unfortunately, my manure spreader won't let it force autoload or force overload or just dump that anywhere. So I was running into a problem where, like, I even filled the manure thing, took it over there to the biogas plant, purchased the biogas plant, and then I couldn't unload it. So then I had to bring another load over in the front loader, which I'm not going to do for you in this episode because it wasn't cost effective to do that just to get digestate. And here I'm going to actually let me just show you on the thing. So here's all the things we have. We have 8,000 liters of oats and canola. Scroll way down. We've got our straw. We've got our gas. Scroll way down, and we have our manure and our slurry. So there's also digestate. If you look at manure, you can sell it at the biogas plant, and you can tag that place, And I'll show you on the map where it's tagged here in a second. So it sells for $93 for 1,000 liters, I believe. Slurry the same way, $88 the biogas plant. So you can sell both of those things over the biogas plant, but you don't actually sell them. You turn them into digestate, and then you could use that for various things on your farm. So here's the biogas plant. Here it's flashing. Our farm is way up here. So you have to take this road down, follow this around, do this little loop around here, come down here. You have to go past it and then drive back up in the woods to get it. And then you have to buy it, which let me show you is, nope, is, that's the farmland. Maybe you don't buy the land. Maybe you go back to here. Yeah, there. Um, anyway, it's like $180,000. I don't know where the price is here. When I was over there, it offered me to buy it, and I had to like take out a loan to do it just to make digestate. But what I was going to show you is there's a sell spot for manure slurry. There's no sell spot on the map for digestate. So even if you buy the biogas plant and sell the manure there, it doesn't actually produce any money because you're just getting digestate, what there's no sell point for on this map. Now there are some maps where might have a sell point for digestate, but I wanted to show you another solution because one of the viewers asked if he said it basically wasn't working on the PS5. So I wanted to test this. So I uploaded this. Here's all the mods I have loaded right now. Yikes. There is one. Where is it? Tell me that I loaded it. I thought I did. Well, that's not great. Let me just keep looking. Anderson, auto load, front load. It's basically a sell anything sell point. And I don't see it. So I thought I loaded it, but I must not have when I loaded this. So let me do real quick. Sorry, behind the scenes view here. We're going to go down here, save the game, and quit. And we will reload the actual game here. Yeah, look at all these save files I have. Yikes. Riverview, 33 hours and 52 minutes. And then here, you can add in all of these mods if you want. Yeah, here it is. Sell everything. Sell point. It wasn't showing all my mods. Well, I had it checked, so that's even sillier. There was one other one in here that had a sell point as well. Let me see if I can remember what that is. Yeah, this wood production, I believe. So I'll put that on. Anyway, that sell everything sell point is available on the PS5 in the mod hub, and it makes a if I can remember how to do it, so we're going to learn this together, that you can basically put a sell point. It's the same one that I used in my Western Wilds playthrough where I was dumping the grass into that. So let me get here. So yep, we're back to here. I guess maybe we just put it in. Let me see, is the wood storage pack even loaded? Yeah, so I guess it just doesn't tell you. So you just go to construction and it's going to take me a second. Sell points. Production sell points. Yeah, so this is just a sell everything sell point. There's also a wood production one that lets you sell wooden wood pallets. And stone selling station. Yeah, it must just be this one. Sell everything mod. Sell everything. This one is part of the other one. So let me just see. So yeah, basically you just put this grate in the ground. I was trying to figure out where to put it. whether I put it right next to it. I don't want to drive really far for this. So I think since we got rid of the chickens, this might be a decent spot to put it on. And I don't want much exposure to the land where it would change anything. So let's just try this. So for $1,000, I now have this sell point here where we can dump things. So my test is just going to be, can we sell the manure directly to this sell point? And so this is what I'm going to find out, because driving all the way over there takes a really long time. And it's just making digestate. And yes, I could go over there, convert all this to digestate, get a tanker, unload that, and then bring it back to sell it at a different sell point, or drop a sell point over there, but that's just more money that I need to spend. So we're just going to see what we can get from manure like this. We could do the same thing for slurry if we needed to. Yep, $243. So that's one scoop, $243. So this is the other way that you could sell it if you didn't want to use it to spread and you just wanted to use solid fertilizer. So sell everything mod gives you sell point, and it doesn't show up in your mods apparently. It just shows up in the sell points under production. So just kind of wanted to talk through that with you guys as well, because this is kind of a new territory for me. I've never actually done this like this. I've just heard another YouTuber talking about it, but it appears every scoop is $243 at the current price. So as long as that stays pretty steady, it would be a lot of scoops, but I could certainly do it. You could also use the conveyor system, get the conveyor belts, and basically use that to transport it from the manure station directly over here. I think that's a little farther than I'm willing to go. If I want the money, I'm happy to scoop. And let me just do one more bucket to regain the $1,000 I spent on that sell point, and then we can just kind of move on with our day. But I wanted to kind of work through that with you guys just to show you that it is a possibility if that's something that you're interested in doing. Or if you don't fertilize as much because you're doing mainly grass work for the cows, that's an option for you as well. So, but this should get us back to about where we were before we bought it. I mean, it cost $1,002 technically, so we would need a little bit of a fifth scoop, but I don't really care that much. We just get us to about where we were. And just kind of show that it can be done. So we've got, let me just do a quick loop around the farm. This is our tedder that we just parked up. There's our, yeah, let's take the Axion. Kind of see where we're at with everything. It's August. We're going to plant in September that wheat on those two fields, 13 and 19. I'm going to go check them on the calves real quick up here. And then we do have to get that hay off the field at some point in time. But I think we got to go grab those grass bales so we can start wrapping them. So I think that's probably what we'll do next. But so there's where I'm buying my lime. Here, since we have the calves and the straw, they should be producing manure now as well. So yeah, look, we're starting to get some manure here. So if I wanted, I could also scoop this and take it down the hill to that sell point. Or use it to spread on these fields. I could use another mow up here, it looks like, as well. But let's just go get those grass bales off the field, and then I can either start wrapping them or I can wrap them off camera, so we can just keep going from there. Where did I leave my bale trailer? It's a problem with this farm, not that it's a big problem, but there's just so much equipment involved that I sometimes misplace things, like bale trailers. I bet I parked it way up where I just was. Let me loop back around here. Also, when you take breaks. If I was playing this daily or weekly, I'd probably remember where everything was, but since it's been a few months since I've played this specific map. Yep, so here is the bale trailer. And this is fully loaded with, what is this? Is this grass? No, this is hay. So yeah, before we go pick up more hay bales, we need to dump those somewhere. Since we are feeding TMR to our calves, or our cows, we can just feed hay to our calves, since their 80% production will be fine for them, since they're not really producing anything now anyway. So let me take this back down the hill. And again, we're always fighting that 200 bales limit, the bale limit on console. On PC, you can have as many bales as you want, to my understanding, and it might eventually cause some frame rate issues, but for the most part, it doesn't. So there comes a point where it goes, no more bales can be created, and then you have to kind of deal with that. So I'm just gonna, not really knowing what we're gonna do, let's just drop those there. See if we can loop around. Did I leave enough room? I did. So let's go get those grass bales off the field that we just baled, and then I'll probably wrap those off camera. You've seen me do bales before. In fact, I'll just drive by where I wrap my kind of wrapping station, which is right here on the left. So I kind of, I've got a grass bale here. So I'll basically drop the bales here and use the front loader to load them in and make another log sausage tube of silage bales from those grass bales. So we will take this down to the field, bring those back up, and that will probably do it for this week's episode. Since we're talking about the episodes, let me just kind of give you a quick rundown. Since I have been away for a little while, I got to kind of get everything up and running again. And one of the problems I've had with the channel before is just setting what I'm going to call as an unreasonable production schedule, where I'm trying to make like 3 or 4 videos a week, and then it just kind of becomes a chore. Yep, there we go. And, you know, this is supposed to be fun. Like I said, this is a hobby that I do, and I enjoyed making these videos and playing on this farm and doing these things, but I have like gotten really into it and made it kind of a second job, and then, you know, I get to a point where I'm tired and I don't want to do it. So rather than giving you 4 videos a week or something like that might put me on that path again, I'm just going to try to casually make my way back into producing farm sim videos at about 1 a week. I don't know if it'll work. That's just sort of my plan. If I can keep 1 a week up, that's still 50 videos a year, and that's pretty good. So anyway, that is sort of my short-term goal, to see if I can do that as I get back into the school year and work and balancing everything else out. So if I have more than one series going, what that means is I get like a bi-weekly production of various things. So like, let's say Riverview is alternating with the Western Wild series that I was doing, or let's say looking at these 2 new releases. We're going to call them 2 new what do you call them, expansions. Maybe I decide to start a new map, and then I don't continue Western Wilds, or I don't continue one of the other series. So those are just sort of the things I need to figure out. I don't know if this is the best spot to leave them, but it's done now. Oops, no it's not. I accidentally reloaded them all. I'm actually going to loop around and drop them somewhere else, since I already picked them up again. So, you know, just kind of keep an eye on the channel. You can kind of see what I decide to do, and I'll talk about it if I drastically change my plan, but if I do one a week, that means that Riverview is basically going to get one every other week, mixed in with whatever else I'm deciding to make at the time. So, and I guess if you want to see a new series as opposed to just the old series, that's good information for me to know as well. I'm just going to park this in here for now. Anyway, so we'll just see what comes of this, but roughly my plans for now is to release one video a week, give or take. And so that means Riverview is going to go to probably a bi-weekly schedule for the time being, as we sort of sort out how that looks going forward. So I'm going to drop this here, run back over, and we will get the front loader hooked up and start feeding these in here. But I won't do that on camera, and we'll just wrap this episode up here. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging in there as I decided to take a break and move on with some other things, but I'm back, and I'm excited to start making videos again. So hopefully this answers some of your questions and helps you guys know where I'm at with the channel. I do appreciate your support. Any likes or shares are greatly appreciated, but don't need to make that my priority. Just say hi in the comments. It's been a couple months since I've talked to you guys, so just welcome me back, and I'm excited to see you. All right, well, take care. Catch you guys in a week. Bye-bye.